Hey, welcome to NYU DC, everybody. And we'd like to thank everybody for attending, but we'd also like to thank everybody here at NYU DC who's been so supportive, right? And so tonight we have two sets for you that will probably just mesh into each other. My name's Dave Schroeder. I'm the chair of the Department of Music at the Steinhardt School in New York City, NYU, of course. And we have something called the One World Suite tonight. And if you have harmonicas, don't give it away until the end, okay? We have a combination of music and spoken word, and I'd like to introduce our speakers tonight. Professor Carlos Chirinos, professor of music business at NYU Steinhardt.
Yeah, Carlos.
And the executive director of the DC Jazz Fest, Sunny Sumter. So let's start this, and I'd like to bring up Carlos. Here we go.
Good evening and welcome. Today we gather here at NYU Washington, D.C. to celebrate the beauty of our planet while using music to voice a unified message that climate change is here and unfortunately here to stay. While climate change needs to be seriously and urgently addressed through action, today music will be the vehicle we will use to appeal to your emotions rather than appeal to your rational thinking. We hope that the following performance will make you feel more connected with your inner self and with each other. So please, if you haven't done so, say hello to the people next to you, reach out and connect. Meet someone new today.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Okay.
So, how can music help raise awareness about the environment? We believe that music is an appropriate tool to raise awareness about the environment, not because it teaches us more facts about climate change and the environmental threats that the world is seeing every day, but because it helps raise awareness about protecting the environment through our emotions and feelings. Music does that. Music helps people create meaningful memories through shared experiences and helps people connect at an emotional level. And it is at the emotional level that we can engage in individual and social change. Please welcome the One World Suite, The Dawn.
A Native American proverb says that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. We all want change, but nobody knows how to get it. How do we change policies and practices that continue to negatively impact the environment? We should start by reviewing our own behaviors and see that what can we change within ourselves? What can we change to accept other people's backgrounds and opinions? What can we change to increase acceptance of our responsibility with the environment? We believe it's all about individual small decisions that we make every day. What we consume, how we manage our waste, our values, our principles, our feelings, our emotions about the environment. And we believe that there is no more powerful tool to disseminate this message of change than through music. As you pay attention to the music and these speeches, we hope that music will inspire you to seek within yourself how you can change and help the world achieve a balance between our needs and the Earth's needs so that the world can be in harmony again. Next, the steps.
According to the UN Committee, the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, around 1 million species face extinction, many within decades, because of humans. 3/4 of all the land on Earth has been significantly altered in just the past 50 years. Many experts claim this is the 11th hour and we must act now, consuming less, polluting less, and having fewer children. Despite this picture, it is not too late to make a difference, but only if we start now at every level, from local to global. I think that this will require an overhaul of economic systems and a shift in political and social mindsets. Ours is the first generation with the tools to see how the earth has been changed by people at our own peril. We're also the last generation with the opportunity to influence the course of many of those changes. Now is the time to act, not half-heartedly and incrementally, but drastically and boldly. And now, the clouds.
Mahatma Gandhi once said that what we are doing to the forest of the world is but a mirror reflection of what we are doing to ourselves and to one another. Climate change is one of the most complex issues facing us today. It involves many dimensions: science, economics, society, politics, and moral and ethical questions. And it is a global problem felt on local scales that will be around for decades and for centuries to come. Carbon dioxide, the heat-trapping greenhouse gas that has driven recent global warming, lingers in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. Did you know that? And the planet, especially the oceans, take a while to respond to this warming. Even if we stopped emitting all greenhouse gases today, global warming and climate change will continue to affect future generations. In this way, all humanity, we ask you to spread the word, must commit now. And now, the desert.
We can't have a prosperous future on a depleted planet, and all signs are pointing to human activity driving the Earth to the edge. Conserving forests, the ocean, and wildlife is in everyone's interest for sustainability and our own prosperity. That's why now is the time for businesses, governments, institutions, and the civil society to work together to halt climate change and the devastation of nature. Our civilization finds itself at a crossroads. The equation is a simple one. We will not build a stable, prosperous, and equitable future for humanity on a degraded planet. And now, Northeast Sky.
Last September, climate activist Greta Thunberg, age 16, addressed the UN's Climate Action Summit in New York City. I'd like to read a portion of her speech, beginning with her response to a question about the message she has for world leaders. Greta said, "This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and yet all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?" And now, one world.
Over 200 years ago, Napoleon Bonaparte declared that of all the fine arts, music is that which most influences the passions, and that therefore which a legislator should do most to encourage. A few bars of moral music composed by a master hand cannot fail to affect the feelings and have much more influence than a well-written book about morality, which convinces our reason without altering our habits. Music is a universal language that speaks to everyone individually. The messages conveyed through music transcends borders, break down walls, elicits conversation, and forms communities of trust grounded in compassion and understanding. Jazz icon Wayne Shorter once said that music offers us a ticket to the universe, a portal that allows anyone to transcend their existence through self-expression, individuality, and a non-invasive way to connecting with others. As musicians, we are most fortunate to be accepted wherever we travel, greeted by all as we bring positivity, goodwill, and hope, as we share our process called creative problem solving through music. And now, the oceans.
And now it's time for everybody to pull their harmonicas out. You know, you're not getting away. Hey, I just wanted to say, as we finish this portion of the concert, the person that is supporting us and has asked us to come down every semester, so we want you guys to practice your harmonicas as we build a quorum. We might have to move to a bigger space at some point. But I'd like to thank Ron Abramson, who's supporting us and supporting these concerts. What a beautiful man. So, okay, here we go. So, listen, I know you're novices tonight, but after tonight, you're going to be professional harmonica players. We're going to play this piece with the band twice, and you're welcome to try to play along with it. And listen, if you're not even close, we want you to sound like the waves of the ocean. Okay? So So everybody's a band member, and this is what it's all about. Through music and through our individual voices, we become unified and we create a much stronger voice. So here we go. This is The Oceans. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here comes the melody. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listen, I want to introduce everybody up here, but I also want to thank Sunny Sumter, Chirinos. Excellent work, colleagues. Okay, in the band, we've all come down here from New York City. Can you believe it? And on the oboe and alto flute, she's a grad student at NYU. We're going to get her into the doctoral program one of these days. Mary Gatchell. Over here is one of our stalwart faculty. This band is world-renowned, and you can actually hear them every Monday night playing with the Village Vanguard Orchestra at the Village Vanguard. Right? How about that? Who knew? Billy Drews. On the acoustic guitar, another faculty member, and he's played with so many people around the world. He plays Middle Eastern music, and he teaches Balkan music at NYU, and he's just a great talent. He's actually back here next Friday playing with Chandrika Tandon at the Kennedy Center. Welcome, Brad Shepik. Yeah. So on percussion, there's another one of our faculty members, and we found him along the side of the road years ago. Picked him up in our band. It's been almost 20 years now, right? Right? Actually, yeah. So we came up with a new name for him tonight. Play your Flintstones sound. So his new name is Bam Bam. So how about a round of applause for John Hadfield? There you go. And on the electric bass, he plays all the basses, acoustic, and he plays third bass for the Phillies. So this is the only member of the Jazz Studies department that's been in the program longer than me, but he's done much more. This band has worked with the great Stan Getz, with Miles Davis, and so many of the jazz greats. And I mean, you can go crazy and say, well, he was also on the set of the TV show Sonny and Cher. So he's done it all. Mike Richmond, everybody. Yay! And this man over here is also an old friend of mine.
Wait, too old?
Old. But in academic, we call that old squared. So he's our composer in residence for the last 17 years, and he actually composed the One World Suite for us tonight. So. He's worked with so many great. He was the director of the Finnish Radio Orchestra in Helsinki, and worked with people like Michael Brecker and Mike Minieri recently, and we worked with Natalie Cole, and we worked with Tony Bennett last couple years ago, Lady Gaga, Rich Shemaria. And you already met me earlier, so I'm gonna... Right? So, let me ask you, is this what you expected the Mongolian horn to sound like? So, okay. It's nice, right? Okay, so people always call me up and say, where can I get one of those horns? And I said, well, you gotta go to Mongolia. And hey, we have one more set of music for you guys, and we're just gonna kick in right now because we have one of the stellar jazz musicians, saxophonist here in the DC area is gonna play with us tonight. Thanks to Sunny recommending this. But is Paul Carr out there? Maybe he went home. You know, it is DC. They roll the streets. Uh-oh. Any questions while we're? Any questions from the audience? Yes.
The Mongolian horn, did you have to modify it?
Well, you know what? I put a saxophone mouthpiece on it, but it already had a kind of a saxophone mouthpiece, but it was a little too nasally for me. So, like I was saying before, people ask, well, what does that sound like? And I said, it's a combination between Stan Getz and Genghis Khan. So, but it's a challenge. They always say that the clarinet was made by two people who never met each other, and I think that's the case here. But it's so much fun to play, and it's perfect for this group. And I'll play it. I actually have one more song we're going to play tonight on that. Yes?
Can we just hear the sounds from it?
Oh, the Mongolian horn? But didn't you just hear it? All right, hold on. All right, well, Paul Carr's, don't look at the band behind the, we'll just do this quick. There's actually, if you go to, the name of our group is Combo Nuvo, Combo and then Nuvo, go combonuvo.com, and there's a ton of videos. I'll tell you one quick story that was kind of funny. Because we work at NYU, they asked us to fly to Shanghai, China one year. So we rehearsed the band, we go over there, and they say, oh, we just want you to play for 5 minutes. And I said, well, are you kidding? And then it turns out that they wanted us to play for 5 minutes as part of a celebration for a university that was founded by Chairman Mao 60 years earlier. And it was like the Super Bowl. So we show up and we're playing in front of 100,000 people, broadcast to 1 billion people. And so you can actually Google Combo Nuvo in Shanghai, and you'll see this crazy scene. We don't think we'll ever play to those crowds again, but it was something special. Hey, I want you guys to meet Paul Carr, the tenor saxophone. Okay, so we've added Paul into a set of our compositions, and we'd like to start off with, what are we starting off with? Okay, I have to find it, so talk among yourselves. Okay, this is actually, there's a couple DC references. This is a composition of mine called Foggy Bottom. So let's see what that sounds like. Okay. Who wants to count this off? John? Wait a minute, so let me count off, because I have the 1, 2, 3. Paul Carr on the tenor saxophone. Brad Shepik on the slide guitar.
Yeah, Brad.
And Billy Drews on the alto sax. We'd like to continue with a composition that Rich and I wrote together, and it was one of our favorite American painters, and this composition is entitled Portrait of Edward Hopper. break the silence. missed the rehearsal for that last part. I don't know what that was about. Hey, wait, I have a song that I think you guys, this is timely. I wrote a composition for my favorite Republican president. But my favorite Republican president was president about 160 years ago. So this is dedicated to Abraham Lincoln, right? So, and I know that we're only a few blocks from the Smithsonian, and I wrote this song for him. I love history, and this is my tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and this is called A Stovepipe Hat Made from Silk. On the Mongolian horn. That sound like Abe Lincoln? I don't know if he carried a harmonica in his pocket or a Mongolian horn. Hey, we'd really like to thank you all for coming out tonight. We love to play and we love to perform for you. And I'd like to announce this great band one more time. Merrick Gatchell, Billy Drews, Brad Shepik, John Hadfield, Mike Richmond, Rich Shemaria, and our special guest, Paul Carr. So we can't leave you. We have one more quick song for you, and it has to be something that starts off. So this is going to kick you off to go home and practice. So this is a composition by Rich called Got My Soul Packed and Ready to Go.
Oh
Julie Drews, Barry Gatchell, John Hadfield, Mike Richmond, Rich Shemaria, NYU DC. We love you. Thanks, everyone. Look at this standing ovation. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Okay. All right. We'll come back. We'll come back. Hey, really, thanks so much for your enthusiasm. And it's not that I gave you a free gift or anything, is it? But anyway, check us out, oneworldsuite.org. See where else we play this around the world and help people, and combonuvo.com. Have a great night, everybody, and great to meet everybody. Bye-bye.